Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome, everyone. It's great to be here. We have a wonderful study prepared for us today, and I'm really excited to impart this with each one of you. Let us, in the name of Messiah, which is one with Meishu-sama, one with Jesus Christ, recognize that it is by God's grace and Kyoshu-sama's permission that we are able to hold these weekly studies. It is only because we have Kyoshu-sama and we are under the leadership of Kyoshu-sama that it's possible to receive these sacred words from Kyoshu-sama, from Masaaki-sama, and hold these studies this week. So let us, with that grateful heart, hold today's study. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of you who have joined the sponsorship program. It is with your determination, it is with your commitment that we are able to create together such studies like this and share with as many people as possible. So, thank you for your commitment. Thank you to all of you who are also participating in some way, financially contributing to making these activities possible, not necessarily through the sponsorship program, by other means, but with your commitment as well. For those of you who would like to join the sponsorship program, it's straightforward, it's fairly easy. All you have to do is visit our website, and you can go to worldchurchofmessiahusa.org and look up on the tab for the sponsorship program. You can do that. You can visit the link through the description of these videos. Also, at the bottom here, when the QR code rolls around, you can access it from the camera of your phone. If you're watching from a computer or from a TV, you can just scan from your phone as well. So there are ample ways to access and participate from there. If you have a difficulty joining the sponsorship program through these means online, contact your local church, the church closest to you, and we will be able to find a way where you can join and participate as well. All right. So thank you so much. This program is open to all our friends, family members, non members. Let us unite to bring this gospel of salvation to as many people as possible. All right. So thank you so much for those of you who will be committing and for those of you who have committed as well. I'd also like to encourage everyone to share these videos, subscribe to our pages as well, and turn on the notifications. All right. So, right under the subscribe button on YouTube or the follow button on Facebook, you should be able to see an option to turn on notifications. It's like a little bell sign. You want to click all notifications so that when we are live, when we post videos, you can receive that. And that's true for all the other pages that you're subscribing. So for the YouTube channel for our mother church in Japan, World Church of Messiah, Sekai Mishikyo, you want to do the same. Make sure you click on that notification and turn it on so you are informed when we are live. Okay? Don't miss out. And also, don't forget to share those pages and those videos as well, right? We want to reach to as many people as possible. Don't keep this to yourself. Don't keep this as a truth just for you. If it's changing your life and you can see what a joy it is to know this truth and to live in this path, let's reach out and give that opportunity to more people. Let's facilitate that and help them. So we look forward to working with each of you to share in the private messages, share in your email, share by word of mouth. Let people know. Let's get the word out there. All right. This is for humanity, and we are very blessed to be a part of it now. All right. So without further ado, let us begin our study for this week with the church canon. Church canon. With great fear of God, we acknowledge that the Lord God is our true Father, the one and only God. We revere Meishu-sama as the model for all humanity and as our own example to follow. Meishu-sama, who was born anew as the true child of God, the Messiah, by receiving the divine will that God accomplished in heaven. We believe that Jesus Christ, who 2,000 years ago embodied the name of Messiah, the name most holy and high, is serving the Lord God in unity with Meishu-sama. We regard the sacred word of Kyoshu-sama, who reveals to us the will of Meishu-sama in this material world, as the sole, absolute, and irreplaceable foundation in advancing our mission here on earth. Words of prayer. God, I acknowledge that you are alive. Within me, you are alive. I thank you for nurturing me to be newly born as your child. May this blessing be shared with all. In the name of Messiah, which is one with Meishu-sama, I surrender myself to you. Please use me as you wish. So much. So every week we usually share one or two posts from Instagram. And this week I chose one from our Mother Church's Instagram page. If you don't follow them yet, you can do so. It's fairly easy. You just go to World Church of Messiah on the Instagram and follow that page. And you can receive these wonderful posts that are coming out on a daily basis, like nonstop. It's a great blessing. It's a great opportunity to align our hearts, our thoughts, our soning with the holy seed of Kyoshu and receive Meishu-sama's will through the holy seed of Kyoshu, truthfully, his true will, right? So this post was actually comes from the sacred word of Nidai-sama, shared on August 1959. And it reads as follows. Nidai-sama shares, since Meishu-sama's sacred word carries with it infinite depth and vastness, you can interpret it in many different ways. According to one's level of wisdom and knowledge, one might interpret it deeply and another superficially. Now, all these interpretations must be brought to the Kyoshu, who has the authority to teach, and under this authority, a single direction needs to be presented to all of you through the headquarters. If not, divergent interpretations of Meishu-sama's sacred word will start to appear, and in the end, the church will split. Now, let's just take a look at this for 1 second, right? This was shared in 1959, right? And look at what Nidai-sama is sharing with us. Meishu-sama's sacred word is infinite, right? Meishu-sama carries, the sacred word carries with it infinite depth and vastness. And we can interpret in many different ways, as she says here, right? According to one's level of wisdom. And, it can be either interpreted deeply or superficially. But look at what Nidai-sama is sharing with us. She's not sharing with us, oh, if you interpret it deeply, that's fine. And you can teach according to that. On the contrary, now, all the interpretations, regardless of what they are, how deep or how superficial they may be, must be brought to the Kyoshu, who has the authority to teach. The only one who has that authority to teach, not me, not you, not any of us, but Kyoshu-sama, who has the authority to teach. And under this authority, a single direction needs to be presented to all of you through the headquarters. That's that true order that exists within the church today. But because that wasn't followed, because we didn't want to follow that authority, we wanted to interpret and do our way, what ended up happening is exactly what Nidai-sama was showing us not to do, right? To be careful of, which is If we don't follow that, divergent interpretations of Meishu-sama's sacred word will start to appear, and in the end, the church will split. Basically, that's what happened, is it not? The church split so many times because we didn't center in Kyoshu-sama, right? So I believe this is, more than ever, as it's also being shared here, right? So important for us to reflect, because I believe still today we have this our own interpretations of what we would like Meishu-sama's sacred words to mean, what we think Meishu-sama is really, you know, showing or sharing, or what we would like to believe. But if we don't receive it from Kyoshu-sama, what that really means, what that interpretation really means, what Meishu-sama's real truly means, we will never truly follow Meishu-sama, and eventually, we will split ourselves, if we put it that way, right, from the church itself, right? So, how blessed we are to have Kyoshu-sama guiding us, and today, more than ever, how important that is to truly follow the will of Meishu-sama. So, with that thought in mind, I like for us to receive this wonderful sacred word, this video message number 19 from Masaaki-sama that just came out. We just received this, the declaration of the construction of the African sacred grounds. This is really powerful, really special video that we just received. It's in English, it's in Portuguese. It's available in the description of the links for the video here. So make sure you haven't watched it, you watch it, you share it. But I like to share it with you today, and then just cover a few points with you today, and we can go deeper when the transcript comes out. But I'd like to really play that for you. So give me a minute here, and I'll play that for you today.
Not just to those who belong to the World Church of Messiah, but to all of you around the world who believe in Meishu-sama. Today, I declare the following. Under the leadership of Kyoshu-sama Yoichi Okada, and with the tireless effort of all the African members, World Church of Messiah will construct a sacred ground on the soil of Africa, where humanity was born. Yes, that's right. World Church of Messiah will construct a sacred ground, a prototype of a paradise on earth in the African continent for the first time in the history of our church. Some may say, "Oh, but Meishu-sama said nothing about Africa in his teachings, so Africa must mean nothing to Meishu-sama." In case you didn't know, it is precisely because of this that we have Kyoshu-sama who inherits the sacred work of Meishu-sama, and who represents Meishu-sama here on earth after his ascension. If not, what are we going to do with the fact that Meishu-sama said almost nothing in relation to Africa in his sacred word? Are we going to say, that was unfortunate, or we will never know what Meishu-sama thinks of Africa? For those who erased the existence of Kyoshu-sama from their church, that's the only conclusion they can have. But we of World Church of Messiah have Kyoshu-sama with us. Kyoshu-sama is here to continue the work of Meishu-sama and communicate to us what Meishu-sama wants to convey to us now. Do you not know that 6 days before his ascension, at the beginning of spring service held on February 4th, 1955, Meishu-sama said that he was going to tell us things that we would have never imagined, and that we should look forward to hearing about them. Without telling us, Meishu-sama passed away. That is, Meishu-sama left the earth not being able to say everything he wanted to tell us. Then, Who would be the one to tell us those things? To you who removed Kyoshu-sama from your church, let me ask, do you know what Meishu-sama wanted to tell us when he said that he was going to tell us things that we would have never imagined and that we should look forward to hearing about them? I guess you have nothing to say. I guess you have to continue with what you are doing now, blindly believing in the image of Meishu-sama you yourself conveniently created, which has nothing to do with the real Meishu-sama and his truth. I speak with boldness. Rather, I can speak with boldness because I am with Kyoshu-sama. And today, in the name of Kyoshu-sama, I say that Meishu-sama wishes for a sacred ground to be constructed on African soil, on the mother continent where we originated, where we came from. Just think for a moment of the enormity of this, everyone. Meishu-sama's sacred ground is to be constructed in Africa, the cradle of humankind. All of us, without exception, came from Africa. It was our birthplace. At a certain moment in time, some of our ancestors left the mother continent and spread throughout all corners of the earth. And who is Meishu-sama? What does he signify for humanity? Meishu-sama emphasized how he was born at the edge of the world. He was born in Japan, in the Far East. He was born in Tokyo of Eastern Japan. And not only that, he was born at the eastern edge of Tokyo at the time too. Of course, this idea of Japan being the Far East is based on the European view of the world at the time. But Meishu-sama saw the symbolic significance of it. He took this as a sign that he was born at the very edge of the world, at the very end of the world. Humanity was born in Africa. Some of us left Africa and traveled across the earth, and in the end reached Japan, the edge of the world. At the edge of the world, in Japan, Meishu-sama was born and received the truth of God, the truth contained in the name of Messiah. Then this truth traveled in reverse and finally reached Africa. And now, in Africa, many are receiving the truth of Meishu-sama conveyed to us through Kyoshu-sama. The truth that each one of us is destined to be born anew as a Messiah, not just Jesus Christ. This way, the end and the beginning have been reunited. Japan, the end of the world, and Africa, the beginning of the world, have been reunited. They have been reunited as one. That is why the sacred grounds of Africa will be a symbol that all of humanity have received the truth contained in the name of Messiah. How big is the mission and responsibility you have, my brothers and sisters in Africa? And to those who are not Africans, this is not someone else's business either. With the advancement of the construction of the African sacred grounds, God will act more and more so that all humanity can receive His truth. So buckle up, everyone. The time has come. The time has come for us to bring this gospel of salvation to all corners of the earth. No, the time has come for God to bring this gospel of salvation to all corners of the earth. That is, the time has come for us to serve God, who finally is going to make His truth known to all humanity. Do you guys know why the purification of the church took place? It is because we wanted to be kings. Kings. That's it. It sounds simple, but that's it. Instead of God being king, we wanted to be kings. We didn't want to be told off by a superior. We didn't want Kyoshu-sama hovering above our heads, questioning what we were doing. We wanted to decide how to advance the divine work, based on what sounded good to us and based on what was convenient to us. We wanted to decide what the will of Meishu-sama was. We wanted to decide the direction we were going to take, based on what sounded good to us and based on what was convenient to us. That's why. That's why all this confusion started. But now, whether you like it or not, God is going to be king. I mean, he has always been king. To those who prioritize their wishes over God's, how unfortunate. But to those who are ready to serve God and leave behind every human convenience, congratulations. Your era has now arrived. The era of God has now arrived. Meishu-sama has declared it. He declared that he will construct his sacred ground on African soil. My brothers and sisters, not just in Africa, but all around the world, let us serve in the work of Meishu-sama, the work that Meishu-sama is now advancing using the entire earth. Your future is bright and glorious, for you never abandoned or ignored the existence of Kyoshu-sama. That is, you never abandoned or ignored the existence of Meishu-sama. When the sacred grounds of Africa is to be completed, Meishu-sama would surely want to visit Africa. Don't you think so? For those of you who can, visit the African sacred grounds when it is completed, representing all humanity. And together, in Africa, let us praise God with shouts of hallelujah. Let us praise the work of Meishu-sama. Let us praise World Church of Messiah, the only church where Meishu-sama truly stands and acts.
Isn't it a wonderful video? It's so inspiring, right? It makes us really excited to move forward, right? And one of the first things that caught my attention in this declaration that Masaaki-sama shares with us is when he says, "Today I declare the following. Under the leadership of Kyoshu-sama, Yoichi Okada, and with the tireless effort of all the African members, World Church of Messiah will construct a sacred ground on the soil of Africa, where humanity was born." If you pay close attention to this, right? World Church of Messiah will construct. I think that, as we really reflect on, at least this is how I hear, right? On referring to other locations where sacred ground was constructed and this or that, right? It was always, we did it. We, the members of this country, constructed, or members of that country constructed, or that church constructed. But today, truly, as one church, under the leadership of Kyoshu-sama, World Church of Messiah, the church, is constructing through, right? As Masaaki-sama points out here, the tireless efforts of African members, right? And on top of that, under the leadership of Kyoshu-sama, Yoichi Okada. And that's an important point for us to reflect, right? There is no sacred grounds without the leadership of Kyoshu-sama. No place can be sacred and holy without Kyoshu-sama's blessing and leadership there. And it is because of that leadership that we are united as one church and we are able to participate and be a part of this construction that World Church of Messiah is doing. So that really caught my attention right off the bat upon receiving this video, right? And on top of that, right, in Africa, where humanity was born, right? And there's such a deep meaning to this that, without Masaaki-sama really, clarifying that, I think it's so easy to overlook for each one of us, right? Another very interesting point, right, that this video really caught my attention as well is, again, the importance of Kyoshu-sama for us, right? That we really need to focus on, right? Because as Masaaki-sama says and asks in question in this video, right, where he says, some may say, oh, but Meishu-sama said nothing about Africa in his teaching, so Africa must mean nothing to Meishu-sama, right? And Masaaki-sama says, in case you didn't know, it is precisely because of this that we have Kyoshu-sama, who inherits the sacred work of Meishu-sama and represents Meishu-sama here on earth after his ascension. If not, what are we going to do with the fact that Meishu-sama said almost nothing in relation to Africa in his sacred word? If we ignore the existence of Kyoshu-sama, how can we move forward, right? It's basically, we are treating Meishu-sama as someone who died, who no longer lives and works through this church, right? Left this message and it didn't go on from there. And Masaaki-sama really stresses that out, where he says, are we going to say that was unfortunate, or we will never know? You will never know what Meishu-sama thinks of Africa, right? For those who erased, he continues, the existence of Kyoshu-sama from their church, that's the only conclusion they can have. But we of World Church of Messiah have Kyoshu-sama with us. Right? For those who do not recognize Kyoshu-sama anymore, it simply stops at that, right? We don't know Meishu-sama's will. We're going to guess. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing. You can't go forward from there, can you? But for us who are blessed with the existence of Kyoshu-sama, who are under the leadership of Kyoshu-sama, it's a very different world, is it not? And Masaaki-sama shows that to us, where he says Kyoshu-sama is here to continue the work of Meishu-sama and communicate to us what Meishu-sama wants to convey to us now. So it's truly an exciting time to be receiving the will of Meishu-sama for this moment in time, right now, for us who are here wanting to follow Meishu-sama's footsteps and will through Kyoshu-sama. And it's so exciting. It's so exciting to see this movement forward, right? This growth, this constant evolvement. I mean, nowadays, reflecting on all this that's happened in our church, without Kyoshu-sama, we would be literally stuck in time with no direction forward, right? Completely a dead end. And we can feel and we can see the divine plan evolving and moving forward. And it's thanks to the fact that we have Kyoshu-sama leading us for that. We are truly blessed and blessed to know this will of Meishu-sama for Africa today. And even more, what the meaning of that is, which came out really strong through this declaration from Masaaki-sama in message number 19, where Masaaki-sama talks about the cradle of humanity's birth, right? And Meishu-sama's birth in the Far East. And this was really amazing, right? He says, just think for a moment of the enormity of this, everyone. Meishu-sama's sacred ground is to be constructed in Africa, the cradle of humankind. All of us, without exception, came from Africa. It was our birthplace. At a certain moment in time, some of our ancestors left the mother continent and spread throughout all corners of the earth. And who is Meishu-sama? What does he signify for humanity? He continues, Meishu-sama emphasized how he was born at the edge of the world. He was born in Japan, in the Far East. He was born in Tokyo of Eastern Japan. And not only that, he was born at the eastern edge of Tokyo at the time too. Of course, this idea of Japan being the Far East is based on the European view of the world at the time. But Meishu-sama saw the symbolic significance of it. He took this as a sign that he was born at the very edge of the world, at the very end of the world. Humanity was born in Africa. Some of us left Africa and traveled across the earth, and in the end reached Japan, the edge of the world. At the edge of the world, in Japan, Meishu-sama was born and received the truth of God, the truth contained in the name of Messiah. That then this truth traveled in reverse and finally reached Africa. And now in Africa, many are receiving the truth of Meishu-sama conveyed to us through Kyoshu-sama. The truth, he continues, that each one of us is destined to be born anew as a Messiah, not just Jesus Christ. And look at what he says. This way, the end and the beginning have been reunited. Japan, the end of the world, and Africa, the beginning of the world, have been reunited. They have been reunited as one. That is why the sacred grounds of Africa will be a symbol that all of humanity have received the truth contained in the name of Messiah. Guys, I don't know about you, but this is truly exciting. It's so special and amazing, right? And at the same time, something to be so grateful for. Because without the holy seed of Kyoshu, without Kyoshu-sama, without Masaaki-sama, how would we ever see this and receive this truth? We would probably have been stuck with the idea of, oh, okay, sacred grounds is being built in Africa. That's nice. It's another one. We have this or that, right? And not see the enormity of what is being declared here in this video. As Masaaki-sama says here, that is why the sacred grounds of Africa will be a symbol that all of humanity have received the truth contained in the name of Messiah. This truth traveling to the farthest end, right? Being Japan and coming back all the way to the beginning, and the beginning and end being united as one is huge and probably beyond what we can perceive at the moment. But to say the least, it is so exciting and so special and so special that we are being used as a part of that to serve in this work of God. So when he says, right, how big is the mission and responsibility you have, my brothers and sisters in Africa? And to those who are not in who are not Africans, this is not someone else's business either. With the advancement of the construction of the African sacred grounds, God will act more and more so that all humanity can receive his truth. So buckle up, everyone. The time has come. The time has come for us to bring this gospel of salvation to all corners of the earth. No, he says, the time has come for God to bring this gospel of salvation to all the corners of the earth. How exciting is that? You know, we are a part of this movement that God is realizing for all the world to participate and be a part in. How special is that, right? How special it is to serve God in this era, in this time, to be a part of this, right? So it's a really exciting time, right? And we are truly blessed to be a part of it. And more the reason that we have to really seek this will of Meishu-sama and the truth of Meishu-sama's sacred words through the holy seat of Kyoshu, or else it's impossible for us to go forward, to move forward in this, right? At the same time, I mean, in this video of Masaaki-sama, he shows us the essence of the church purification, right? The reason that we went through all this in the first place is because we wanted to do it our way, right? As he stated, we wanted to be the kings, right? To be kings. We didn't want somebody above us, right? Leading and showing the way. And in the end, we ended up, doing exactly what we shouldn't have. As Nidai-sama shares in the post that we saw, right? We wanted to interpret Meishu-sama's sacred words our own way. We wanted to lead the divine plan our own way, right? And do it and be in charge. And we missed the boat for such a long time and created so much conflict within us, within the church. And now we're being allowed to, with a repentant heart, to truly follow Kyoshu-sama's will, right? We're so blessed for that, right? So as we go deeper into that, I think it's also important for us to recognize, as Masaaki-sama shared in this video, that we are here to serve God, right? And serving God is putting our convenience aside, our wants, our wishes aside, and seeking to serve God's wants, God's needs. At this point that Masaaki-sama is sharing with us, right? And he says in the video, when he describes this conflict in the church and everything that came along, he says, we wanted to decide what the will of Meishu-sama was, right? We wanted to decide the direction we were going to take based on what sounded good to us and based on what was convenient to us. That's why all this confusion started. But now, whether you like it or not, God is going to be king. I mean, he has always been king. To those who prioritize their wishes over God's, how unfortunate. But to those who are ready to serve God and leave behind every human convenience, congratulations. Your era has now arrived. The era of God has now arrived. I think this is a very key point, right? We serve in this church not to serve our convenience, not to serve our wants and our needs, Right? If we continue prioritizing that way, it's a very unfortunate situation for us, right? We are here to serve God's wants and God's needs, right? To leave behind every human convenience. That is the era we are in. That is the era of God. And to be nurtured through that and being led by Kyoshu-sama in that, it gives us great joy and hope, right? To truly live in that way and serve in that way. And we're truly blessed for it. So, I mean, this declaration of the construction of the African sacred grounds, message number 19 by Masaaki-sama, is truly amazing. I look forward to having the transcript and studying it with you also in the future. But, say the least, let's share this with as many people as possible. Let's watch it over and over and seek to serve this church, right? This holy church and work of Meishu-sama, right? Through the leadership of Kyoshu-sama and Masaaki-sama. Thank you so much for sharing this moment with me, and let us do our best to serve together with all members in Africa in this construction of the sacred grounds in Africa and fulfillment of God's will for all humanity. Once again, thank you. And may all honor, may all glory be returned to God always.